there, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be the games that I've played this year. I remember last year there was other people in the community that were doing like a 52 game challenge, and I thought that would be kind of cool to do. So this challenge started on the 4th of December last year, and I finished it on the 7th, so it was a year and 3 days. I'm going to go through all the games, but I'm not going to go through them in great detail, or else the video would take too long to do. I managed to finish 54 games this year, which is mad, to be honest. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing it. A couple of them were digital games though, but I've tried to keep it all physical as much as I could. But I'm going to go through the games, who inspired me to play them, and just like my kind of thoughts on them, just briefly. So the first game I played this year was Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Brilliant game. I remember seeing my friend playing this many years ago on the PS3. I actually played it on the PS4 digitally, but I've got the PS3 version. I just thought it looked amazing way back in the day, and it was only 25p from Cash Generator. I don't think you can spend a better 25p. That's a brilliant game. Absolutely loved it. Next one was Sin and Punishment, Successor of Disguise for the Wii. Really enjoyed this, tough as nails. I remember seeing this on Retro Bear's Wii collection videos. I've seen it on there. I'm sure I've seen Retro Ghetto had it as well. He featured it in one of his videos too. But it was really cool. I've only done the one playthrough with the boy. But brilliant game. Tough as nails though at some points, but really cool. The next one I did was a game that divided the fan base of this particular series. It's Final Fantasy 13. So when I finished this, and then I'm sure that Eddie Rollico then played it, and he quite enjoyed it as well. I think it's not your typical Final Fantasy game, that's why it kind of divided everyone. But I enjoyed it. The presentation is absolutely sublime, brilliant. So Final Fantasy 13 Part 2 is the game I'm playing now, so hopefully I can finish it come January. And then it'll be the first game on my next lockdown tower. But I really did enjoy it. I did enjoy the characters. It's not your typical Final Fantasy, so don't go into it thinking that it's going to be a Final Fantasy game, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. Next one was a recommendation from Marcus at Dad and Lads Gaming, and it's Dishonored. Loved this game, it was so cool. I have recently this year picked up Part 2 and the Death of the Outsider, so I will get into them for my next year's Tower of Games. But really did enjoy this. The DLC was really cool as well. The world of the whole, I think it's Dunwall? Yeah, Dunwall, the Brigmore Witches, that was a really cool kind of DLC story to play through as well. Brilliant game that. Next one is one I played on co-op with my little brother on the PS3, and I loved it, and it's Resident Evil 5. We still need to go through and do the DLC on that. I'm sure you go back to do you go back to the mansion? I don't know if you go back to the mansion. But you're Chris and Jill in the DLC, so I need to get back onto the DLC with this, with my brother. Next one is Banjo and Kazooie for the N64, an absolutely classic 3D platformer. I never played it back in the day. I had this on my tower, and everything I posted on my tower on Twitter or MGR's Facebook page, everyone kept on saying that I was going to ruin the box. However, the box does look quite nice here, it's alright, but then when you turn it around, it's got massive water damage in the back, so it didn't really matter, to be honest with you. But the box is, apart from that atrocity right there, it's actually not bad to look at from front on. But brilliant game. The end boss was bloody tough though. Next one was Christmas present from the missus and the wee man, which is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Usually I don't like these big massive open world games, but this one was really cool. It broke it down nicely into like, what was it called? I can't remember, was it different shires or regions or something like that? You had to pledge your allegiance to that kind of area. and then within that it was all different little storylines, so it was quite cool that way. Like, it was like loads of different storylines within a big massive world. And one thing I did like about it is they didn't shove down your throat the kind of modern day kind of futuristic kind of stuff. That all came towards the end of the game, so it was really cool just to go through Eivor's story. So this was a good game. This one. Next one was 13. Really enjoyed this. It does kind of feel its age, but I remember seeing they remastered it for the PS4, but everyone said it was rubbish and it was crap. But I always wanted to play it, and I played it. I opted to play it on the PS2. I didn't go out and buy the remaster, but I did enjoy it. It was really cool, and I love cel shaded. I'm a sucker for cel shaded games, and it really suits it. This was a cool game. Next one was another Christmas present from the missus and the wee man, and it's a Little Hope. I don't know, do you call them games, like interactive movies kind of thing? But I really do love these. I love the kind of blockbuster kind of feel to it. Like it is an interactive movie, and that's what I really enjoyed about it. Really creepy. The kind of creature designs in it are really kind of like Silent Hilly. In the wee town as well of Little Hope. It did kind of remind me a lot of Silent Hill, but it's nowhere near as good as Silent Hill, but I did enjoy it. Next one is a game that I've wanted to play for many years. I've seen it in the magazines and stuff, never played it, and I think it may be one of the kind of first games to introduce the kind of cover shooter element in the game, and it was Kill Switch. I think that video game show, they put it on their underrated PS2 games. It's a really good looking game for a PS2 game. The gameplay does get pretty repetitive, to be honest with you, but it's cool. It's a cool blast. It doesn't take long at all, so it doesn't outstay its welcome. It's a good game, that one. Next one, this one is a fantastic game. Absolutely loved it. Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. It's just a massive nostalgia buzz. Loads of nostalgic levels and characters and music, and after every Grand Prix, every race, you're always unlocking new things, and it just kind of sparks that nostalgia part of your brain, and you just go, oh Christ, I remember this, I remember this, I remember that. Brilliant. But I didn't complete it all the way. Like a lot of racing games, I think I've got a couple of racing games in here. I can get so far with a racing game, and then I hit a ceiling and I can't do any more because my abilities just don't allow me to. Next one on the original Xbox was Mech Assault 2 Lone Wolf. This was good. A lot of shooting, a lot of mechs, a lot of explosions. The storyline's okay, it's not too bad. The main character is called Mech Warrior, so it's not like a big in-depth storyline, but I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it enough to get all the way through and finish it. The end boss is pretty cool, actually. Another open world game, 10 pence. 10 pence this cost from Cash Generator, is Prototype. It's kind of like a darker Infamous. This is really cool, really good game. Alex Mercer you play as, and you can have like shapeshift weapons and things like that, and big kind of open world. It does remind me a lot of Infamous, and even like the Spider-Man kind of open world games. It was really good, I did enjoy it. Next one was Zelda Skyward Sword. Really enjoyed this. I remember when I did start playing this, I think I started playing it then like a week later or something, they announced the, what do you call it, the HD remaster on the for the Switch. But I enjoyed this. This is my type of Zelda game. I've said before, I don't really like Breath of the Wild. It's not that I don't like it, I've not gave it enough chance, I've not gave it enough time, because I kind of like my Zeldas just to be like this formula. But I really enjoyed this one. Next one is a game that I've been championing everywhere. If anybody would listen to me, I would talk about this game. Thankfully Eddie Rollercore, he listened to me and he gave us a game a go, and I'm pretty sure he enjoyed it. And it's Binary Domain on the PS3. It's absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's so good, the shooting's good, the graphics are brilliant. The storyline is really cool. I mean, once it gets to the kind of final third, it really starts to become a bit more serious. But loved it, absolutely loved it. Anybody, you have to play this game. It's absolutely brilliant. Love it. Next one was a game inspired by Heaps of Games. He was streaming this game and I didn't actually finish it. I got right to the end, and if anyone's played it, Zombie U. If anyone's played it, you have to go back to, where do you go, is it Buckingham Palace, I think it is, and you have to get the eye from the doctor. So I did that, I got the eye, but the game didn't recognise that I got the eye, and it still had the tick, the checkbox to get the eye. Oh, pissed me off. It just it was like a game breaking glitch. However, that is right at the end of the game. Once you get that, you kind of go back to, oh, where is it? You go back somewhere to get the helicopter and you go kind of thing. So, I didn't complete it, but I did complete it because I watched Heaps' stream, so I seen the end from where I was. I watched the whole stream kind of thing, the whole series of streams that he did with this. So I did manage to finish it through Heaps, so thank you very much. Brilliant game. Really creepy. Next one is from Feed Me Chicken. I did a trade with Feed Me Chicken and he sent me across Indiana Jones and Emperor's Tomb. I really enjoyed this. I do like Indiana Jones. I think he's a cool character. This game plays a lot like a kind of Tomb Raider of this era. Really cool. Really enjoyed it. I did feature the instruction manual in one of my other videos because the instruction manual it's really different. You know, they put a lot of effort into this instruction manual. I'm not going to go into it in detail because this video is going to be too long, but I enjoyed this game. Next one is another game that I've had my eye on for like decades. I've seen it in magazines and I never played it, and it's Galerians. So when I did give it a first go, I didn't really understand how to play it because you had to go into, you start off in like a lab and you get these psychic kind of powers, but I didn't know how the combat worked, so I didn't play it much. But then I did give it I did sit down with it and I enjoyed it. It was really cool once you learned how to do your abilities and stuff like that. It's really cool. Next one is Prey, PS4. Really enjoyed this one as well. The graphics are stunning and it's got one of the best kind of intro segments into a game. I really enjoyed it. You know, you get out your apartment, you go upstairs to the roof and you get in a helicopter, and that's when the kind of credits roll. It's got a nice wee bit of music, and then you get like all the kind of made by and produced by, all that sort of stuff kind of flying by the helicopter. I really enjoyed that. That was a cool game. It was pretty tough as well though. Next one was The Suffering, The Ties That Bind. I played The Suffering last year and I absolutely loved The Suffering. I enjoyed this game. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one, but it is cool. I enjoy I think the beastie, the bad guys, the designs are really clever, really Clive Barker kind of inspired. Yeah, I did enjoy it. I really did, but I thought the first one was better. Next one is Farpoint on PSVR. I love the VR. I don't put enough time into the VR, but I really do enjoy it. And this was one of, I think it might have been a launch game for the VR, or it was very early on the VR, and it always passed me by. But my little brother passed me over the VR aim controller, like the kind of light gun for it, and absolutely brilliant. I mean, we need to, I think the future of the VR, we need to see games like Time Crisis and House of the Dead, all that sort of stuff. We need to see that on VR because that seems like the logical kind of step for light gun games. I think the VR would be ideal for that. But yeah, Farpoint, I really did enjoy that as well. Next one is Broken Sword Trilogy. I didn't finish Trilogy, no way, far too tough. But I did the first one. Again, inspired by Marcus, Darden Lads. He loves his point and clicks. I did enjoy it. It was really tough. There was some really tough kind of puzzles. I'm not going to lie, I did use some guides for some part of it. But yeah, I want to kind of I want to play through some more Broken Swords and more point and clicks. I remember having Discworld when I was younger, but I didn't have a clue what was going on in Discworld. But yeah, I need to play some more point and clicks, and it was a good game that. Next one was inspired by Geordie Slasher Gaming, Mark. And I have played this before, but I don't think I finished it, but now I have finished it. And it's Ipo on the PS2. A PS2 classic, brilliant game. Again, I didn't play it on the PS2, sorry, apologise. I played it on the PS4. Obviously the graphics are a lot better, but the game essentially is still the same game, the same heart, the same overall kind of message and gameplay and stuff. But yeah, Ipo, classic game. Next one was inspired by Metal Jesus Rocks. It's a hidden gem for the Wii. It's Cursed Mountain. It's a survival horror. It's a very slow paced survival horror. Really cool, really creepy. The ghosts in it, the baddies are really slow moving and shifting about and things like that. It's really, the whole pace of the game suits it. It's not fast, it's not in your face, it's just a creepy ascent up a mountain to find your brother. I think it was your brother. And just, yeah, good creepy game. Whoa. So the next one was a video response, and it was, I can't remember, it was what was it? You had to imagine that you were back in the day and you were at a video shop and you just picked out a game just by its front cover or what it kind of meant to you. So I picked out Alien Colonial Marines Extermination Edition. This game got absolutely slated, didn't it? Everybody hated this game. You can see a lot why it was hated, but to be honest, I didn't mind it too much. I thought the sound effects were great. I thought going back to Hadley's Hope was a really cool kind of scene kind of thing. And I can't really defend it really because it isn't a great game, but it is okay. I didn't mind it too much. There's a lot of nods towards the Alien movies. There's a voice recording in one of the rooms near the start where when you play it, it's little Newt's mum talking on it. So it's got a lot of nods to the franchise. It was alright. It's okay. Next one, loved this game, absolutely loved it. I need to look out for the sequel to give it a bash as well. Castlevania Lord of Shadows. Now this is the first Castlevania I've ever played. I did play another one this year, but I'll get to that at some point. But yeah, Castlevania Lord of Shadows, I loved it. Robert Clio and Patrick Stewart, voice talents in this. It's Castlevania done in a God of War kind of engine. It's just brilliant. I loved it. I love them kind of games. Yeah, Castlevania, crapper. Next one was a recommendation from a long time ago he didn't recommend it to me, sorry, he just recommended it in one of his videos. It was from Rob, 2D Champion Rob. And it's Thor for the DS. He highly recommended this game and I've seen it. I can't remember what, I think it was only like £3 in CEX. So I had to grab it because of his recommendation. And I loved it. It's not a huge game, it doesn't have too much depth, it's just you just kind of play through it. But it was class, it was really good, the controls are good, the sound's cool. Yeah, surprisingly I played 2 DS games. I'm not a big handheld gamer, but yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was a good recommendation, that for sure. Next one is getting quite pricey, I don't know if it's going back down in price. And I managed to get it for £10 only, but it's an American copy, but the PS3 region free, so I had to snap it up, and it's Folklore. So good, such a good game. There's some kind of parts in it that kind of reminded me of Labyrinth. You know, Labyrinth. I don't know why, it just did. It just kind of reminded me of Labyrinth with the goblins and things like that. But the cool thing about this is when you're in combat, your combat abilities are the enemies you meet, so like you map them to your buttons, so like square would be a wee goblin, and triangle you can put onto this big, like a tank thing. It's really, really cool. Really enjoyed this. The little kind of town you can have, the hub kind of areas is cool as well. I think it's set in a little Irish town. Brilliant game. Next one was Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. Loved it, absolutely loved it. I love the Uncharted games. I love these. These are my kind of games. The kind of blockbuster, linear kind of games that you kind of get into, and there's a point, and you get through. I just love these games. I used to be a big RPG fan, but obviously now I'm getting a bit older. I don't have much time to put into RPGs, so I like to get into a game. I like to get involved in the game, get in, and get through it, kind of thing, and get it done. And this is just brilliant. Uncharted games are class, and this one is excellent. Next one is a classic game, inspired by heaps of games again. It's Half-Life. Everyone's played Half-Life, everyone knows Half-Life. Midlife Crisis Toys and Games, I think the name is. He just put up a Instagram picture of his Half-Life with a little Gordon Freeman figure. Brilliant game, absolutely brilliant. A game changer. Yeah, there's not much more to say about Half-Life, it's just absolutely top tier. Next one was inspired by Retro Ghetto again. He was mentioning this at the beginning of the year, maybe mid-year, beginning of the year. It's Aglos PS4. It's a Wonder Boy. It wears its Wonder Boy influences on its sleeve. Brilliant game, absolutely loved it. I only got it for £6, which is alright, £5.99 sorry. Yeah, absolutely loved it. The graphics, the sound, and again, not too hard. It's not too hard, but there's some difficult bits in it. I think actually one boss gave me a lot of trouble. The kind of one that kind of goes up and down the screen and diagonally, he was tough, but I really enjoyed that. Next one was Silent Hill Silent Hill 4, The Room. Bahaha, I'm sure he's played this, and he was mentioning about the kind of the ghosties that float about being annoying, and they bloody are annoying. Really enjoyed this. This was a good game, and shockingly, I think this is the first Silent Hill that I've ever finished. No, it can't be. It can't be. Is it? I can't even remember. I've got a memory like a sieve, but I really enjoyed this. Brilliant, great graphics. Creepy as hell when you're in your apartment, when you're in the room, and like just weird stuff just happens, and like beasties coming out the wall and things like that. It's brilliant. Next one was a recommendation. I think it was Danny Press Start Gaming. He was doing like his underrated 360 games. He needs to do more of them because they were class. I've got a couple sitting up I still need to get through that he recommended. I think Dark Sector was one of them. But I played through this one, which is John Woo Presents Stranglehold. Brilliant, absolutely loved it. Kind of repetitive in the sense that all you do is jump around in slow motion, shooting bad guys and things like that, but fun. Just fun shooting, fun set pieces. Yeah, really enjoyed that. Next one was from Sega Zombie, Scott at Sega Zombie. Alien Trilogy on Sega Saturn. I played this many years ago on the PS1. Excellent game. Playing through it again, still loved it. It still holds that nostalgia for me. It was kind of tough as well, actually, to be honest, to go back to it. But loved it, absolutely loved it. Next one was Blair Witch. So I'm sure this was around about Halloween time I was playing this, and I streamed this one, so a couple of guys did kind of come on and talk to me when I was streaming it. Really cool, actually. It was a few jump scares. There's a few jump scares in it, but the whole kind of feeling and immersion was really good. The atmosphere was brilliant. I think that this missed a trick, because this could have been so good on the PSVR. Unfortunately, it wasn't on VR. Next one is VR, and it's Doom 3, the VR edition. I've never played Doom 3 before. A lot of people who get to know, sorry, he put it on his top 10, I think it was. Not this version, sorry, the original Xbox version. Loved it, really, really creepy. It's not like your classic Doom style. I think a lot of people didn't like that, but I thought it was really good. It was kind of tough though as well. I played it as well with the what you call it, the PS Aim VR controller. Oh. Next one, No More Heroes on the Wii. This game is batshit crazy. It's daft, so daft, but really, really cool. It's got loads of different kind of, I don't know, elements, kind of different game style bits. There's bits you can play you don't play baseball, sorry, but there's kind of baseball baddies that throw baseballs at you, and you've got to bat them back with your lightsaber. It's daft, but really, really good fun. Really enjoyed that, and I did get the second one as well, so I'll give that a playthrough next year. Next one again is Wii U game. It's the only Wii U game I played. Oh no, it wasn't, because it's on Wii U. But Bayonetta. Bayonetta is brilliant, absolutely class game. I'm sure a lot of the guys were talking about how good this was, and it's absolutely class. It can get hard as well. But the Wii U version, you get who do you have? Princess Peach and Samus Aran costumes. But this was really cool. Fighting all these demons and baddies to fly me to the moon. That was just class. I don't know, inspired, brilliant. Next one, I don't know what made me play it, but I really thought the cover art was really nice. Kind of chibi. No, it's not chibi. Is it chibi? Chibi-like? Nah, I don't know. But it was Prince of Persia, The Fallen King. And it was alright. It's you play the game only using the stylus, and you press a button to control your little pal. I can't remember the name. What was the name? Magus. It was okay. I played through it. I got through it. It held my attention to get through the game, so it was a good game. Next one was a recommendation from Big Game Al. No, I'm kidding. He doesn't like it at all. But I loved it, and it's Evil Within. So I played it on the PS4 again digitally, but I bought it on the PS3. But it was just easier to play it on the PS4, and it looks better and plays better on the PS4. It's really, really cool. It's just for me, it felt like it was Resident Evil and Silent Hill kind of mixed. It was just a mad game. Really, really good. I need to get on to the second one now as well. It's really, I don't really know how to explain it. It's just crazy. Like I think you're like in the mind of like the bad guy, and like the town's all warp, and oh, it's just class. You have to give it a go. Creepy, really creepy. Next one is the only new release this year, and I loved it. I think it's the game of the year because it's the only one I played this year. And it won an award at the Game Awards. I think it was narrative it won. I think it was narrative. Oh my god, this game is class. Guardians of the Galaxy, brilliant. It's so funny. A lot of people didn't like the controls. I didn't mind the controls. I thought it controlled well and smooth, and it all just kind of came together. Obviously the characters are brilliant. Laugh a minute. Just the interactions they have, even just like walking through the game world, they talk to each other. The immersion in the game is just brilliant. But it also goes into kind of not darker tones, but kind of sadder tones, and you see a different side to. You definitely see a different side to Drax. That was cool. But yeah, that's brilliant. This is brilliant. Again, these are my kind of games, just like blockbuster, story driven, straightforward. And I think that's why I'm more of a Sony pony, because I like these kind of straightforward games. brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Next one was a nice little surprise for me actually. Well, for two reasons. One, I thought it was a VR game, and it's not. There's a VR aspect to it, but I still haven't done that because I don't have two VR ones. But it was Concrete Genie. It's a really, really nice game. It looks gorgeous. It's cool just walking around. It's all about there's undertones of bullying and things like that. So, but then this kind of at the second part of the game, maybe the final third of the game, becomes more of a kind of combat-driven game, and that's when you start to make friends with your bullies, and you have to rescue your bullies, and you all become pals at the end. So that was really nice. Next one was Silent Hill on the PS1. I had to go back to this game because I did Silent Hill 4 earlier on. I had Silent Hill 1 that's been sitting for ages. I didn't play it from the disc, I played it digitally. I do have the disc, like it's not damaged or anything, it's all in there with the book and everything. But I just played it because it's just a lot easier playing it digitally. I had it on my PS3 and I got the, oh yeah, that's for a different video. But I got a really cool PS3 for £5 and it's backward compatible, and I'll so chuffed with that. That's just the best thing. But sorry, Silent Hill, brilliant game, even to this day. It's surprising how big Silent Hill is. It's really big for a PS1 game. It's masked a lot by its technical difficulties, but they mask it well with the use of fog. The sound design is incredible. It's still really cool to play to this day. It's a little bit janky. It's a little bit robotic, tough. What's the word? I don't know the word. Stiff. It's a bit stiff, but I did enjoy it. Of course, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Next one was Beatdown Fists of Vengeance. I played this because I remember watching a completely different game. But I watched Heaps playing God Hand. And I know it's completely different, not the same at all. But it kind of looked similar to me. I really enjoyed it. It's not great, it's kind of a stiff game. It shows its age. It's definitely a PS2 game. It's definitely from that era. And I think even from Mega Drive Streets of Rage, I don't think you'll ever get a beat 'em up. I think they've struggled to get a beat 'em ups to kind of be the same as, I don't even know what I'm saying, but it's really good. There's a lot of customising to do in it, loads of customising, loads of different moves for each of your characters. It's a good beat 'em up, but it's not as good as the old beat 'em ups. You won't get, that's what I'm trying to say, you won't ever get the same magic you got from Streets of Rage 2 nowadays, or even PS2 era. They still struggle to kind of get that magic right. But that was okay, that game. It wasn't too bad. So a game recommended by Eddie, Lola X4 again, was Bulletstorm. He said this is one of his favourite games of this generation, and it is brilliant. It's class. The graphics are surprisingly gorgeous. They still hold up. Sorry, and again, I didn't play it on the 360. I played it on the PS4 digitally, but it's brilliant. The one-liners, the crack, brilliant. And you also get to, on the PS4 version, you get to play through it as the Duke Nukem. I haven't done that yet, but I might actually do that because he could add a nice little bit of flavour to it. But the graphics are brilliant in it. The shooting is excellent. The whole world just looks incredible as well, especially on the PS4. I don't know what it would like in the 360 or PS3, but I'd imagine it still looked good. Maybe not as good as the PS4 version, but still class. This one was a recommendation, not a recommendation, sorry. Well, it was, but not to me, but one of his videos from Radical Reggie. He mentioned this a while ago, a long time ago, and I just wanted to play a story-driven movie tie-in kind of thing, and I really enjoyed it. And it's Star Trek, like it does have its glitches, and I felt maybe the kind of final third of it I did feel a little bit kind of rushed and a bit of rinse and repeat. But I loved how it had Chris Pine and what do you call him? Zachary Quinto as Spock and Kirk. And again, it's cool the way they kind of interact with each other, even when they're not in a cutscene. They still kind of talk to each other as you're running around. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the kind of free falling bits in space or even on the planet when you're free falling down a cliff. I don't know why, I just really enjoyed them. They were cool. But again, it does have glitches. It's not a perfect game, but it's worth a playthrough, and it kind of ties into the J.J. Abrams Star Trek universe. So this comes after the first game and before Into Darkness, I think it was called. So yeah, that was a cool game. Then the last physical game I played, again, so this is a racer, and it's brilliant. It's tough. It's not as good as Horizon Chase Turbo though. That's got a special place in my heart. But it's Hot Shot Racing, class game, so good. The graphics are just my kind of graphics. I love them. It's hard to say you completed a racing game because I've said before with the Sonic one, like I'll reach a ceiling where I can't do anymore because I'm just not that good. I'm just not good enough. I need to get good. But this was brilliant. I managed to do expert on 4 of the 6 Grand Prix. Was it 4? Yeah, I think it was 4 of the 6 Grand Prix. And then like, the last 2 Grand Prix are just solid. The one track I was struggling on was like, I can't remember the name, but it was like a city track with a lot of sharp bends and right angle turns, and I was smashing into everything. I couldn't get the drifting right for that level, so I just left it be because there was going to be a couple of casualties in my controllers. So that was the most recent game I played physically. The digital games that I've played through as well, I wrote them down because I've got a memory like a sieve. So the first one was Ys Origins. It's my first Ys game that I played. Really did enjoy it. It was really cool. I think it's Dylan at Hyper Trigger X. He mentioned how it was like a RPG shooter, and it's exactly what it is. It's a shooter game. It's just class. Really good. I loved and that was in PS4 as well. Sorry, and I loved the graphics and presentations of it, the music, everything. It was just a really good game. Ys Origins. The next 2 I bought because, if you can remember, there was talk of the PS3 store being closed. So I thought I'll jump on there and buy 2 big hitters for the PS1. So PS1 classics and the PS3 store. So I bought Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And I know you can get it cheaper, and I have got it cheaper since. I got it cheaper with Rondo of Blood for $3.99. Eddie Rollercore showed us that on the PS4. So that I bought that as well on PS4. And it's a great game, absolutely. It's a classic. Everyone knows about Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Yeah, brilliant game, great music, nice graphics, tough. It can be tough. I never did the inverted castle, but since I completed it, I went to look how to get the inverted castle, and you have to do X, Y, and Z to get to the inverted castle. I've not been back to do that yet. But yeah, I got that in the PS3 store for the PS1. Another one I got for the PS3 store for the PS1 was Clonoa, Door to Phantomile. It's a great little platformer. I loved it, kind of 2.5D, colourful. Yeah, just really nice. Really enjoyed that. It did get quite tough towards the end. I think the end boss was a bit of a pain in the arse, but it was cool. Sayonara Wild Hearts, another one, recommended by Jordy Slasher, Retroed, anybody who's played Sayonara, recommend it. Sayonara Wild Hearts, absolutely brilliant. You finish it in like an hour, but the music's so good. I'll probably have a wee shot of that before I go to work today, actually, just to chill out. Next one was Hoa, H-O-A. I spoke about this in a video previously. A nice little 2D platformer, again, nice and short. Doesn't take a lot of your time, and a really easy platinum. I think there's only one missable trophy for it, and I had to go back to get that. But yeah, loved that. So I got 3 platinum trophies, so that was one of them. The next platinum trophy I got was Air, which again I spoke about in a previous video. Just a nice chilled out relaxing game. Love that one. It's just so nice. And then especially the flying parts. The flying parts just kind of really chill you out, relax you. And then the last one, which is another platinum to my collection, was Control. Control is an absolutely brilliant game. I'm going to get it physically for the collection just because I really enjoyed that. It's just brilliant. I loved Control. Control was so good, and that was recommended by Jolly Slasher again. He said I had to play it because it was free with PS Plus, and I did play it. Absolutely loved it. It's just got a good feeling to the characters, the way you control the character, and it's similar to like God of War when you throw the axe and you catch it again. That's a really good feeling, and the same with Control when you're ripping up the kind of ground to throw at the enemies. It's that same kind of kinetic feeling. I just loved it, absolutely loved it. The graphics, presentation, everything brilliant. The music. Control is a top tier game. Absolutely loved it. So anyway, that is my 52 game challenge. I managed to beat it by 2 games, so I did 54 games this year. And well, actually, like I said, I stopped my last tower last year on the 4th of December, and then I finished it this year on the 7th, so it was a year and 3 days. That's how long it took me to do the 54 games I did this year. And yeah, I loved every one of them. There was a couple of games that I started and then I just fell off of. There was, what was it, Lost Odyssey on the 360, there was Tales of Eternia on the PSP, what else did I? There's a couple of other games that I've tried to get into and I just couldn't. Maximo on the PS2, Gungrave on the PS2. I gave them all a little bit of time, but they just didn't really drag me in, so I just kind of left them to the side and moved on to something else. I may go back to them games at some point. But anyway, thank you very much for listening to me waffle on about all these games. Loved it. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.